National Paper Company pulp and paper mill in Cantonment still not operating tonight. It's been more than 24 hours since the explosion at the mill rocked the community. Drone video today gives you a bird's eye view of the area. No one was injured in the accident, but IP officials say there was significant structural damage to the pulp digester and the powerhouse. Florida Department of Transportation did reopen northbound lanes of U.S. Highway 29. Southbound lanes are still closed and the detour remains. Crews are working to clear up the gooey mess called black liquor that coated anything and everything nearby. Officials say contractors will develop plans to clean up and dispose of the material, and the company has promised to give support and resources to the community. If you live in the area around the plant and you're concerned about that black liquor mess, you can call 850-968-4208. If you did not get a chance to jot that number down, we'll have it on our website, thecw55.com. All this hopefully good news for people who live near the plant. They've been trying to clean up the black liquor from their cars, their homes, even their plants out in front of their houses. Some are even saying they're feeling some respiratory hardship, experiencing headaches as well. The CW55's Haley Minogue spoke with some of them and has this report.
For Willis Lyman,
it's really nasty to me. It's real nasty.
The black liquor coating his car came as a surprise.
We ain't really come out to this morning, then we seen all this mess.
Now he hopes International Paper can find a way to prevent this from happening in the future.
Yeah, just make sure everything's good to go. We don't have this problem again, so.
Down the street, Edie Manning says she's been experiencing some of the symptoms IP warned about in a release to the public.
Earlier I was out taking my daughter to the bus stop, and they were both feeling it, and they got in my car. And then when I got home and walked in the house, I started gagging, and my eyes they're burning now, and they were burning earlier. And I started gagging in the house after being outside for about 20 minutes waiting on the school bus.
She now hopes International Paper will help them out.
I hope they come out here and bring trucks and, at least spray it down or do something. I've got a 15-year-old, have an 8.5-year-old, I've got the animals, and I'm very worried. I'm not an alarmist type of person, I'm really not. But I was in the house, I'm thinking, what happens like 10 years down the road?
They'll wash away the black liquor, but they'll still seek answers for what happened and the impact it will have on their homes and their families. In Cantonment, Haley Minogue, the CW55 News at 9.
And officials are also telling people to keep an eye out on their pets and watch for what they might be coming into contact with. Since last night's explosion, nearby hospitals have reported only a handful of patients. We checked with hospitals in Escambia County today. West Florida Hospital says it had 3 walk-in patients from the Cantonment area with respiratory complaints. Sacred Heart also had 3 walk-ins last night, same symptoms. They were treated and released. Officials at Baptist Hospital tell us they did not have any patients coming in with complaints since the explosion. Now, black liquor mixed with wood chips is what fell in the neighborhood. What is black liquor and where does it come from? With IP officials not talking, we went to a former major paper mill manager for an explanation. When wood comes into a paper mill, it's broken down first into wood chips. And those chips are then heated to separate the fiber that will become paper from the natural bonding agents that hold the fibers together.
The digester is a large cooking vessel.
Mobile engineer Scott Moorhead worked in the paper-making industry for 2 decades, including a stint as a mill manager.
The digester is a large cooking vessel that uses something called white liquor, which is a caustic chemical, and steam and water to cook the chips down to a brown pulp. Black liquor is a byproduct of the cooking process. It is the residual liquor, if you will, that comes out with the pulp.
Moorhead did not want to talk about the incident at IP directly, but it's likely the explosion took place in the digester, which is typically 6 to 10 stories tall. The fact that black liquor and wood chip particles were blown out and the fact that no one was hurt would likely indicate the breach was on the top of the digester. Moorhead says black liquor is not a dangerous substance, and it's typically collected to be burned off to produce energy and to be chemically reformulated into white liquor, which is used in the paper-making process.
It's got a odor of it typical of what you would smell around a paper mill, just because of the chemicals that are in it. So it's not a very aggressive substance. You obviously don't want to leave it on you or anything for a long time, but it's not like a strong caustic or anything like that.
Is it sticky?
It can be if it's concentrated, yeah.
Moorhead says the substance should wash off with just water and certainly with soap and water. Now, since 2010, nationwide, International Paper has paid more than $2 million due to OSHA safety code violations. And that includes a case last year when the company was also fined after an employee was killed in a dust explosion at its plant in Richland, Mississippi. And the Cantonment IP plant has had several EPA violations in the past 3 years. The plant was actually fined and had one enforcement action because of Clean Air Act violations, and the plant was also cited for Clean Water Act violations and Resource Conservation and Recovery Act violations. The plant was last inspected last February.